So, very quickly, I've told you about my panelists. Very interesting. The interesting thing about them is the fact that they want to keep the environment safe. So I will start with Christabel. Tell us more of your work in Port Harcourt in Niger Delta. What have you been doing with recycling? I promise to keep to time, so I will just give you 3 minutes, and that's your... So say everything you want to say under these 3 minutes.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Good evening, everyone. At iRecycle.world, we're leveraging a reward-based mobile app to, allow individuals, businesses, and organizations to schedule frequent pickups of their recyclable waste, and they can also track and measure their impact over time and earn rewards while doing that. So our goal for this is to make recycling easy, convenient, and accessible to anyone, anywhere. Thank you.
So how do you get, what technology are you using to get to this product, as in to get to these things that you recycle?
Okay, so via the mobile app, we do digital campaigns through social media, community activations, school tours to tell people about how the app works. But since the AI movement started, we've also explored building iRecycle.digital, which is your AI recycling assistant. It gives you, information, education, anything that you need to know about how to recycle the right way, access to, verified recyclers all over the world. And there's also a community forum where you can share ideas with, other members on the platform. But the key feature for iRecycle.digital is the impact, how we tell the story of your recycling impact. So you can explore it even right now, www.irecycle.digital. You can impute, for recyclers, you can impute the amount of plastic, aluminum, paper, whatever kind of waste that you've recycled over time. And it can tell you in any language that you want, pidgin, any language that you want. It explains your impact in understanding. So for example, if I come and I say, as a recycling firm, we've recycled 30,000 kg of plastic over time, anybody, not just anybody, might be able to understand what I mean by that. But what iRecycle.digital does is it breaks this down and it lets you know that, okay, this means that we've been able to save this amount of CO2 from, polluting the environment. That means you can think of it like, that means we've planted this amount of trees, over time. It really breaks it down into, terms that anybody can understand, like saying that means think about a vehicle going from Lagos to Abuja 50 times, saving that amount of CO2 from the environment. So it just really breaks down the impact in understandable terms. So that's what iRecycle.digital does. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So anybody that needs information will meet you after now. Let's go to Dandison. Dandison, tell us more of what you do.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today, and I'm so excited to be here. I work around climate change, and I'm also an advocate and an activist sometimes. I was just about to lead a protest why our time was cut so short, but I understand that the day has been fast spent. So at Aspire Climate Vanguard, we are a non-profit organization. We do a lot of work around promoting climate advocacy across Africa. And a very interesting thing for us to know today is that climate change, it sounds sometimes, we are trying to break down these terms in clear terms where young people and everyone will be able to get the idea of what we're doing. So it just feels so far-fetched, but it's interconnected with everything. And Port Harcourt as a city is on the front line on the impacts of climate change. And I was just discussing with someone and saying, I was just discussing with someone not too long, and we're just having a brief talk on how can we drive change in the issues of climate change in Port Harcourt. And the truth is that nobody is going to come to save us. And as an organization, we've been able to leverage technology. And we also believe so much in the power of strategic partnerships, where we're able to build an ecosystem of young people, young voices across Africa to teach them how to use technology. And when we talk about technology, a lot of people think like you need to start building a software, you need to have to create a web app and all of that. Someone who has a core background in IT and degree in computer science, I've been within the tech space for some time, and I noticed that some of the issues or the barriers why we are not making a lot of progress is because we always want to innovate and create and do something that we feel like is very big before we think we've done something. So, but at ACV, we are able to build this digital community across Africa. And just last month, we launched the call for the African Climate Creative Fellowship, which is one of the biggest calls so far this year on climate digital campaigning. We had over 1,500 applications from over 30 African countries. So we're connecting everyone. And this is also giving birth to the Port Harcourt Climate Week, which we are just launching. We have a booth behind. So we are trying to see how we can model international programs like this, which have worked in New York, in San Francisco, in London. And we're bringing the first ever Port Harcourt Climate Week this August in Port Harcourt. I think somebody should give a round of applause to that. And we're trying to see how we can, I'm taking a lot of time. We're trying to see how we can build a community around it and see how sustainability is interconnected to everything. So let me not take a lot of time.
I want to believe it's a call to action for young people who want to get involved in Port Harcourt Climate Week coming in August. Please check their booth and indicate your interest. Finally, Dr. Dapo, tell us about the electric vehicles and what you're doing at EMPAN.
Thank you very much for inviting me on behalf of Electric Mobility Promoters Association of Nigeria, also known as EMPAN. I'd like to appreciate the organizers of this Port Harcourt Tech Expo 2025 themed Imagines, and I'm glad to represent the association. I serve as a pioneer president of this association. What about EMPAN? EMPAN is a coalition of stakeholders across the electric mobility ecosystem. I call it ecosystem because we have, it operates across different sectors, starting from the transport sector, the energy sector, and the environmental sector. Now, electric mobility is using a form of electricity to power mobility systems. So instead of the traditional internal combustion engines, which is called ICE, so they use electricity to move the vehicles from point A to B. Then when we talk about EVs, it's stereotype in people's mind, cars and buses. No, we have different layers of EVs, starting from the two-wheelers, which we call the bikes, the three-wheelers, which are the kekes, and the four-wheelers, which could either be a car, medium-sized bus, large buses. And so we have stakeholders that operate in this space, as well as we have assemblers of electric vehicles in Nigeria, could either be assembling or manufacturing, licensed by the NADDC. NADDC is the Nigerian Automotive Development and Design Council. So we have also people who work on the soft side of things, creating applications where they map out the charging station across Nigeria, service stations where you can get service, maintenance. And we also have those who are to the battery side of it, because provision of energy, somebody will ask, we don't have enough energy in the grid. Where do we get energy to charge these mobility systems? That's why we are using, a number of our stakeholders use distributed renewable energy systems, where they use energy from the sun to power their mobility systems. So for the last mile, 2- and 3-wheelers, you have people who operate in that space using battery swap technology, where within 3 to 5 minutes, you are able to switch your battery and get another one to keep you going. So just like I mentioned in the software side, you have people already mapping the charging infrastructure across Nigeria. So we also looking at the environment side. From the battery technology, you are looking at the disposable life of a battery. When you reuse it, gets to a time you have to recycle it. You have people who are working in that space, as well as decarbonizing. Our goal is to decarbonize transport system in Nigeria by taking out a number of carbon from the environment through carbon market and carbon trading as an incentives into the energy transition plan of Nigeria to get us to net zero by 2060, which transport sector takes about 25% of the 5 major sectors listed in that document. So I'm glad to be here. And so we have those stakeholders across Nigeria. Somebody's asking, at the launch, somebody said, we don't have electric keke here in Port Harcourt. I'm so surprised. But we have some stakeholders who have indicated interest from UK who are bringing in tricycles or keke, as you know, E3-wheelers. And in short time, I might be back in the city again to help with the commissioning of that. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for this session.